creatures hidden deep in tens of thousands of years of big eyes were discovered. Everyone who saw them was terrified. Enigmatic echoes. Hello everyone. Dear friends, ancient Earth existed many mysterious and gigantic creatures. Through fossils, we have been able to simulate their actual shape and size. However, it would be more detailed when our creatures, even completely intact inside and out, discovered under the permafrost layer. This not only helps scientists have a favorable basis to study living organisms in ancient times, but also allows us to see many interesting things, but no less explosive in the past. Today, please join Enigmatic Echoes to explore 5 prehistoric creatures hidden deep in tens of thousands of years of big ice that were discovered. But everyone who saw them was terrified and frightened. 1. 57,000-year-old wolf mummy in permafrost. Hidden deep in the permafrost layer for tens of thousands of years, the young female wolf was discovered by a gold miner in Dawson City, in Canada's Yukon region in 2016. It was named Zoo by Indigenous John Deep Quake Teen, meaning wolf. Basically, a wolf is 100% intact, only missing its eyes. All soft tissues, fur, skin, even its small nose are still there. It remains intact and is a truly rare mummy. Using various technologies and techniques, the research team from Des Moines University, Iowa was able to determine many aspects of the young wolf's life, from age, diet to cause of death. According to scientists' announcement, the young wolf and its mother ate some aquatic animals, including fish such as Chinook salmon spawning in species-rich rivers. By comparing data from the wolf's DNA and analyzing tooth enamel, researchers found the animal seemed to have lived and died around 56 to 57,000 years ago. Meanwhile, the results of Z's body cavity examination showed it was about 6 to 8 weeks old when it died. Researchers note that while ancient wolf fossils are relatively common in Yukon or nearby Alaska, mummies of larger mammal species are very rare. Therefore, they believe the young wolf was in its den and died suddenly when the den collapsed on it. Data shows it wasn't starving at about 6 to 8 weeks old before death. So they felt somewhat relieved knowing the poor animal didn't suffer pain for too long. 2. 9,300-year-old bison mummy. Recently, scientists were extremely surprised to excavate a bison mummy with intact parts, such as brain, heart, blood vessels and complete digestive system under the permafrost in Siberia. The steppe bison or bison species that has survived, it dates back about 9,300 years. And although this animal species is found in steppes throughout Europe, Central Asia, Thuringia and North America, this is the first time such an intact and ancient mummy has been found. Dr. Olga Potapova from the museum in South Dakota said that this is truly a rare discovery and currently there are only 2 other similar cases worldwide and this is the 3rd case. Normally, we see animal mummies that the longer they're preserved, the more severely damaged they become, or they all melt after the permafrost thaws. Especially in summer, most mummies of this type melt very quickly and can disappear forever within just a few months. Also, according to Dr. Potapova, this bison species appeared early in the Holocene, 9,000 to 12,000 years ago, and currently very few animal species from this era are found. The next day, researchers performed surgery on this mummy and discovered that the internal organs were almost complete. The brain remained intact although it had shrunk to 36% of its original mass over time but still had all nerves, even the brainstem. Regarding the body, there was still trachea, heart, blood vessels, stomach and bones maintained similar size, not shrunken like the brain. Surprisingly, researchers found that abdominal fat seemed to be absent, so they concluded this animal died of starvation. According to researchers, in the near future, they will study more carefully and perform full dissection to examine histological details, parasites on it, while also investigating other parts like bones and teeth. And they hope that the results of these studies will reveal not only the cause of death of this special mummy, but also clarify species behavior and the reasons for its extinction. Amazing photos of this false fossil were published after scientists found it beneath the permafrost at the Batagayka crater, Siberia, Russia. This is called a gateway to hell, with a length of about 1 kilometer and width of 800 meters, continuously expanding and hiding many mysteries. The Batagaka crater is also a gold mine site, where scientists have excavated many fossils of animal species. Plants such as mammoths, reindeer, and moose. Notably, the fossil of the foal remains perfectly intact after approximately 40,000 years. According to experts, the foal belongs to the Letskaya horse species, Hacquus lanensis, which has long been extinct, believed to have died at about 3 with a height of about 94 centimeters. This small horse was excavated from a depth of 30 meters, but its color is perfectly preserved like a layer of permafrost. It has dark brown fur and particularly parts like the mane. The tail, along with internal organs, is remarkably well preserved after 40,000 years. This foal likely died from falling into a natural trap or drowning in a slowly melting ice lake. Mr. Simon Rigoriev, head of Museum 31, Yagwood, said there are no visible wounds on its body. This is the first time in the world that a fossil of a prehistoric foal with such a high degree of perfection has been found. Even its hair is preserved, which is rare for ancient discoveries. Next, they will study the horse's intestines to learn about its diet. And perhaps this discovery of an intact fossil after 40,000 years will provide much useful information for soil sample researchers to reconstruct the habitat of ancient horses. 4. A woolly rhinoceros carcass with intact fur and skin after 34,000 years in 2014, a man named Sasha discovered the carcass of a 34,000-year-old woolly rhinoceros under the permafrost in the Yakutia region of Siberia. Later, the creature was named Sasha after the man. This ancient mammal is currently on display in Moscow, Russia. After the mummification process revealed its true appearance from the Paleolithic era, it is known that scientists studying Sasha went from one surprise to another. First, the color of its thick fur was described as ginger red by an expert. This fur color is clearly very different from the gray-black color of today's white rhinos in Africa. Initially, when the woolly rhinoceros carcass was found, scientists thought its fur was light gray. But after cleaning the specimen, they realized it was a completely different color than initially thought. Another surprise was Sasha's size. According to analysis of its teeth, this young rhinoceros was about 7 months old when it died, but its size is equivalent to a modern 18-month-old rhinoceros. In other words, the extinct rhinoceros species in Siberia were much larger than the rhinos alive today. Its newly emerging horn base is also clearly visible. Researchers do not yet know if the rhinoceros carcass is male or female because the animal's internal organs no longer exist. Researcher Valery Protikov said that thanks to this discovery, they can learn about the woolly rhinoceros species with bodies covered in thick fur. Previously, they could only assess the species through rock paintings found in France. Now, through the thick fur and underlying body, they can conclude that this rhinoceros species was fully adapted to cold weather from a very young age. However, another hypothesis has been raised. The rhinoceros died in a swampy lake before its body froze, and it had shed its fur before death. Epseny Mashenko, a senior researcher at the Paleontological Institute of the Russian Academy of Sciences, said they can only speculate how mammoths and woolly rhinos lived based on plants growing around minerals in the animals and oxygen and carbon isotopes taken from bones. They found that the living conditions of these animals were very different from today. About 35,000 to 50,000 years ago, the climate was colder and drier, with not many climate zones existing, and the location where this animal's carcass was found is the tundra region, which did not exist at that time. There were no tundra plants, but there were many favorable conditions for herbivores. Thus, with abundant grass and shrubs, it was a way for giant animals to survive because there was enough food. And to this day, there is nothing that mammoths or woolly rhinos could eat in that tundra region. 5. A 30,000-year-old mammoth. A gold miner in Canada accidentally discovered the nearly intact mummy of a young mammoth that had been frozen since the Ice Age over 30,000 years ago. On deck wet. According to archaeologists' descriptions, the specimen is almost completely intact, with skin and fur attached to the body, buried multiple times under the permafrost layer. Big animal. In the Han language of the indigenous people, when alive, Nuncho-ga is believed to have roamed Yukon along with wild horses, cave lions, and giant steppe bison. Local authorities confirm that this is an important and rare discovery in an area like Yukon, which has a world-famous fossil record of Ice Age animals. According to Dr. Grant Zazula, a paleontologist, this discovery plays the most important role in paleontology in the North American region. Also, according to this expert, the young mammoth may have been with its mother but ventured a bit too far on its own and then got permanently stuck in the mud. Meanwhile, Professor Dan Suga from Calgary University, a member of the archaeological team, said this is the most interesting discovery he has ever participated in. He described in detail the well-preserved animal, which still had intact hooves, skin, fur, body, and even its intestines and last resting. The animal died in a curled leg position, with a soft trunk and a contorted body. Its hooves even retained the grooves from wear. Therefore, experts are very excited about the incredible level of preservation of the specimen. It is known that this area is famous for its fossil deposits from the Ice Age, but rarely are organisms found as intact and well preserved as this one. The woolly mammoth was comparable in size to the African elephant, once roaming the icy steppes of Europe and North America for 140,000 years and disappearing about 10,000 years ago. Notably, early humans used to hunt them for food, using their bones and tusks to create artworks or household tools. Dear friends, thus the discovery of the mammoth concludes our exploration journey today. Which discovery impressed you the most? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to give a like to Enigmatic Echoes. Subscribe to the channel so you don't. For now, goodbye and see you again. Subscribe to the Gian Migo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.